You're watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
The Affordable Care Act takes effect next week, and the opening day for the insurance marketplace is coming up on October 1st. Good evening once again. Good to have you joining us here at 10, everybody. I'm David Oliver. Now, this is going to have some wide-reaching effects across the healthcare industry. Tonight, new at 10, Laura Kennedy talked with a local doctor about how it will affect his practice.
Millions of Americans will sign up for insurance in the coming months, many for the first time, and that means doctors could see a major increase in their number of patients.
Dr. Landholt.
Dr. Tom Landholt might be getting much busier soon thanks to the Affordable Care Act.
We might have up to a 30% increase in our primary care.
This fall, millions more Americans will sign up for insurance, but there might be more patients than doctors to see them.
There's going to be, I think, a shortage of primary care.
The Patient Care Family Clinic in Springfield already sees 9,500 patients on a regular basis.
If you're just now getting health insurance, you're not alone. You may be joining a long list of people calling to make appointments.
Have you been a patient here before?
So in order to keep wait times down, this clinic will probably add another doctor in 2014.
Just to accommodate our growth.
But Landholt says until Americans begin signing up for insurance October 1st, any prediction of new patient numbers is just a guess.
There's so many unknowns about the Affordable Care Act in terms of utilization, how many people are going to sign up.
In general, he believes having more people insured in this community will be a positive.
If we can knock down the emergency room visits just for Medicaid kids with ear infections, we'll take a burden off the hospital.
Even if that means more patients through his doors.
Dr. Landholt says the increase in patients will likely come from two sources: those who already have insurance, who now have access to fully covered preventative care, and the newly insured who don't usually go to the doctor on a regular basis, if ever.
All right, Laura, thanks. People signing up for insurance can choose gold, silver, or bronze plans. Gold being the most expensive, bronze the cheapest. Here's an idea tonight of what Missourians are going to pay. The Department of Health and Human Services released some new numbers and examples of cost of premiums. The first example involved a family of four with an income of $50,000. If that family chose the silver option or middle option, the monthly premium would be $798. After tax credits, that price drops to $282 per month. If the family chose the bronze or lowest price option, the monthly cost after tax credits is $72. Now, the other example was a 27-year-old making $25,000 a year. The silver or middle-priced option would be $220 a month. After tax credits, that's $145. If that person chose the bronze or cheapest option, they would pay $87 a month. All of the plans are through private insurance companies. Anyone who enrolls by mid-December will have health coverage starting January 1st. And this 35-year-old is a part-time English professor at a local community college. She does not have insurance and will sign up when the insurance marketplace opens. She hopes to start a family once she has insurance.
Like I said, no one was covering maternity unless I, wanted to fork out $500 or $600 a month. Having health insurance, period, is going to make me feel better.
To learn more tonight about the insurance marketplace and the Affordable Care Act, visit ozarksfirst.com, click on news, then look for the healthcare tab there. Now to Color 10's political coverage here at 10. The U.S. Senate is debating a funding bill right now as the deadline nears for a government shutdown. Republican Senator Ted Cruz of Texas spent almost 24 hours speaking against Obamacare and the funding of it, and then voted along with the other 99 senators to allow debate on a bill that funds the government until the end of the year. Two recent polls show the majority of Americans want their lawmakers to compromise rather than stick to principles to avoid a government shutdown. Our Lindsay Klein went around Springfield to see if that applies here. Lindsay?
David, a government shutdown would kick in on October 1st if Congress does not hammer out a new spending plan and reach an agreement.
My personal opinion would be not to shut down the government.
And apparently the majority of America agrees. In a Pew Research poll this week, 57% of Americans said they want lawmakers to compromise, with 1 in 3 saying members of Congress should stand by their principles, even if the government shuts down.
Sticking to principles is good on some issues, but I think that with things like the budget and being able to run the entire federal government, that 4 or 5 states shouldn't be able to hold the entire country hostage.
By a 53% to 25% margin, the public said in a Gallup poll that it's more important for political leaders in Washington to compromise over sticking to their beliefs.
So I think the idea of doing some compromise and at least finding some areas to cut, or raising the debt ceiling a little bit so that we do have time to make those compromises, or maybe get like a more unified Congress in session, would be a good idea.
And as the deadline to reach an agreement nears, most of the country hopes lawmakers will put their pride aside and reach a deal.
If you don't compromise, you're never going to get things done.
I'm hoping something gets worked out. It's always hard to be optimistic with politics, but I'm hoping it will.
Half of those questioned in the Pew poll say they are against the House Republican measure to cut off funding for the 2010 health care law as part of a budget agreement. 28% support the GOP's push to defund Obamacare. David.
Lindsay Klein tonight. Thanks. A man from the Ozarks is in outer space right now.
And the Soyuz is now on its way with Mike Hopkins, Oleg Kotov, and Sergei Ryazanskiy on a 6-hour ride to the International Space Station.
This rocket launched today from Kazakhstan. One of the flight engineers, Mike Hopkins, grew up in Richland. He's scheduled to spend 5.5 months at the space station. Jamie Warner is watching our skies in the Ozarks tonight and has a look at your forecast.
Oh yeah, he's missing out on some wonderful weather in the Ozarks right now. It was a dry day, it was a warm day, and it looks like we're going to see more days like this to wrap up this work week. Here's a look at highs today, and compared to normal, 76 is the average high for today's date. We're right around there across the eastern Ozarks. We had partly cloudy skies this afternoon, but where we had sunny skies to the west and south, it got up around 80, 81 this afternoon in Joplin and Harrison. Here in Springfield, we topped out at 79 degrees, the warmest reading so far this week, but we're going to go even higher over the next couple of days. Currently, we're looking at clear skies out there, temperatures very comfortable, dropping slowly through the 60s, and right now in Springfield, we're standing at 64 degrees. By sunrise, we're going to be around 59, and there will likely be some patchy fog out there, and some of it could be locally dense. It won't last long in the morning, though. That should mix out very quickly. We'll find sunny skies at noon and sunny skies throughout the afternoon, highs in the low 80s. We do have some changes on the way this weekend, rain and then a cool down expected.
Tonight, new at 10, the real winners are hungry people in the Ozarks, but Springfield Public Schools crowned a champion of Food Fight 2013. That's a food drive competition. Pleasant View Elementary, these students from Pleasant View Middle School, and Hillcrest High each won their divisions. Altogether, 19 Springfield schools collected 10,579 pounds of food. It all goes to Ozarks Food Harvest, which will distribute the food to more than 200 nonprofits in the area. It is Banned Books Week across the country, and Drury University took part in raising awareness about censorship today. Students, faculty, and staff there read books on the library steps. Now, these are books that have been banned at some point in some part of the country. Stories like The Great Gatsby, To Kill a Mockingbird, and The Catcher in the Rye. The Department of Health and Human Services says Taney County has one of the highest rates of people visiting emergency rooms in Missouri.
We've outgrown our facility.
And that's why Cox Health is expanding in Branson. Tonight, the ambitious plans to serve a community that needs more health care services. We would like to be your friend on Facebook. You can find us. It's very easy to do. Look for the Facebook icon right there on ozarksfirst.com. In tonight's medical coverage here at 10 o'clock, a Branson hospital is expanding because the community needs more services. Today, Cox began a 60,000 square foot renovation that includes a new emergency room and upgraded facilities. Our Nathan Vickers explains the area is growing and aging at the same time.
The symbolic piles of sand at the Cox groundbreaking are nothing compared to the three-story, 42,000 square foot building that will replace the medical plaza. CEO Steve Edwards says a new emergency room will help prevent overcrowding.
It's a material addition with a brand new emergency department and a brand new ICU area and then some room to grow as well. This emergency department at times as big as any big city emergency department, especially in the summertime.
He's right. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, more than 24,000 people visit emergency rooms in Taney County each year, one of the highest per capita rates in the state. Dr. Richard Blubaugh says many low-income patients and tourists crowd the hospital's current facilities.
We have many challenges because we have a high utilization of emergency room visits here in the community. We've outgrown our facilities.
But it's not just about new buildings. Cox is responding in part to changing demographics and healthcare needs in the Branson area.
As the population ages, we need more capacity in our intensive care area, and so as we build out this project to include both those items.
The hospital is recruiting doctors and has sent a full-time provider to Faith Community Health Clinic that services the working uninsured.
The degree of illness in the indigent is higher than it is in the general population. We've been hurting down here for primary care providers for a long time. It's just difficult sometimes to attract people.
According to Health and Human Services, Taney County nearly doubles the state average for alcohol-related hospital visits and has more tobacco users than any other Missouri county. Cox sees a need for maternity care, heart health, and primary care to prevent future overcrowding in the ER.
This will help us to do that in the years to come.
The expansion is a business move by Cox to keep up with demand in the area and provide additional services in a growing, aging community.
All right, Nathan Vickers reporting. By the way, Cox is also modifying its parking lot to streamline traffic and create a level surface for pedestrians. Now, Mercy is also investing in the area. A new hospital in North Branson is now in the design phase. Jamie Warner's back with a check on your forecast. Some rain for the weekend, but until then, just nice out there.
Yeah, until then, a beauty, David. And even this weekend, not looking horrible. I mean, we're going to get a little sun Saturday, then that'll be followed by some rain, and then that'll be followed by more sun and cooler temperatures. How cool. That's your full forecast coming up.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
All right, let's start things off with a beautiful photo from this morning. And this is up in Stockton Lake. You can see the sun coming up, so sunrise right there. This photo is sent in by Rachel Lewandowski, and you can see the tree there in the foreground. And the tree, I'm guessing, is a walnut tree because it almost looks like a Christmas tree that's lost its needles, because you can see the little balls on all the branches. If you get up real close to your TV screen, those are walnuts in the tree. A lot of walnut trees tend to lose their leaves at this point, and they still have the walnuts in the tree yet to drop. But it's just a gorgeous shot of what many people saw this morning here in the Ozarks. There was some fog out there and some low cloudiness, and it took a little while for that to mix out in areas up towards like Lake Ozark over through the Clinton area. But even after the morning fog and low clouds there, gorgeous afternoon. Here's what's going on across the nation right now. A couple of different areas where we've got some wet weather. Out east, this was yesterday's storm for us. Not really a big deal. Here's our next storm out west. We've got a trough which has already carved itself out across the western U.S. and a storm which is brewing here across the Intermountain West. And it's one of those first storms of the season where we've got some snow on the map. Here on radar, you can see a little bit of blue in there. That indicates some snowfall in some of the higher elevations of the mountains out west, and they are expecting some accumulations. And just a sign that our seasons, they are a-changing. We're leaving summer behind us. We're pushing deeper into fall. And before you know it, it's going to be cold out there and it's going to be wintertime. So we have to enjoy these nice days like today and like we're going to find tomorrow and Friday while we've got them. Now, as far as today is concerned, we did see a little bit of cloud cover pop up during the afternoon out east. That's because we had a little moisture available in the atmosphere, a little more moisture available in the atmosphere for that to happen, while areas further west were deeper into the dry air that tried to wrap in behind that storm that moved through yesterday. Out west, again, we have this next storm. It won't arrive until Saturday, so there's a lot of real estate between now and then for that storm to cover, and that means we're going to find a very quiet next couple of days, lots of sun, highs in the 80s area-wide. That front will arrive over the weekend. It looks like it'll probably arrive sometime during the afternoon on Saturday, and with it we're going to find a band of showers with a little bit of thunder. Not expecting any severe weather. I don't even think the rainfall totals are going to be that impressive, but we can expect, I think, a good general quarter of an inch to a half an inch, with some locations picking up maybe 3/4 of an inch of rainfall. And that rain will develop, I think, during the afternoon from northwest to southeast, and will be with us into the evening hours, at least in on again, off again fashion. So if you do have some plans during the afternoon or evening this upcoming Saturday, just kind of factor in that chance for wet weather. I think the rain moves out for early Sunday, and we should see clearing skies as we get into the afternoon on Sunday, and we're going to see another dose of fall-like temperatures moving in to wrap up the weekend, and that will be how we start off this upcoming work week as well. Overnight tonight, clear, cool out there, about 59 for a low. We're going to find some patchy fog out there, and especially some of the dips and valleys near creeks and near lakes. Temperatures in the upper 50s out east, around 60 to the west in Joplin, where there's going to be a little bit more wind. Tomorrow we'll see an afternoon high of 82 with breezy southeast winds at around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Generally low 80s to the east, but out west we're going to get into the mid 80s. 86 for a high, in fact, in the Joplin area. Looks like another day with highs in the 80s on Friday, mainly sunny after some early morning fog. Showers and thunder arriving in the afternoon on Saturday, moving out early Sunday with some clearing, I think, taking place. 74 for a high on Sunday and less humid. And then next week, the first half of next week, looking quiet with a slow warming trend, with afternoon temperatures getting back into the low 80s, I think, by Wednesday. More rain possible, I think, late next week with the next storm.
I'm impressed you could make out those walnuts on the tree, but were they black walnuts?
I'm pretty sure they were black walnuts. He's big into these black walnuts now because he figured out that he's got some in his backyard.
I got a bumper crop.
And he's going to be out there.
I'm going to get the tool and go out there and pick them up this weekend.
Try to make some money.
There you go. All right. Thanks, Jamie.
We want to make it a big game. Obviously, A&M's got a loss. We got a loss. They're a top 10 team. They returned the Heisman Trophy candidate.
Johnny football will be in the Ozarks this weekend. That's not the only reason the Razorbacks are looking forward to Saturday. Nick has more coming up in sports.
Now, Color 10 Sports with Nick Carboni.
It has taken about a month for the Evangel Crusaders to play football here in Springfield, but they'll finally be back at JFK this Saturday at 6 p.m. The Crusaders didn't even start the year until September 14th, about a week or two later than usual. That was a loss at Kansas Wesleyan. Then they won at Avila last week to even up at 1-1. Evangel finished 7-4 last year. They had one of the best offenses in the Heart of America Athletic Conference. They haven't slowed down. A lot of big plays from this bunch. Crusaders taking on Mid-America Nazarene this Saturday night, and they owe them for a blowout loss last year. Crusaders say that you're invited.
Yeah, we have great home fans, and we enjoy playing here. Our guys play better at home than they do on the road traditionally, and we're excited. You know, Springfield's a great community. We have really exciting football, and I'm hoping that more of the community come out and watch us as time goes on.
It's exciting. You know, we always have a good home crowd. We always get a lot of fans come out and support, and I think it's just the anticipation's been building, you know, for the fans and for us to get to play at home. So it's an exciting thing.
All right, I have been looking for about an hour or so, and I'm not 100% sure, but I don't see any evidence that Elvis Presley ever played a show in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Well, the wait is over, kind of. College football Elvis coming to town on Saturday. Johnny Manziel and the Texas A&M Aggies, they're going to hit a sold-out stage at Reynolds Razorback in a battle between 3-1 teams. Hogs picked up their one loss at Rutgers last week. That was a heartbreaker, but they are ready to rebound and be a part of the big show.
I think that sometimes in my head coaching career, some of the biggest disappointing losses, heartaches propel you to something better in the future, and that's hopefully what we're going to be able to build upon. Talked about it with our kids. We want to make it a big game. Obviously, A&M's got a loss. We got a loss. They're a top 10 team. They returned the Heisman Trophy candidate and all that. With a sold-out crowd, I've never seen Don Reynolds completely packed, you know, so it's going to be exciting. Hopefully a very, very loud atmosphere, something that our kids are excited about and have been talking about for a long time.
All right, let's talk baseball now. Last night, Cards rookie Michael Wacha was 1 out and 1 inch away from throwing the first no-hitter at Busch since 30 years ago tomorrow. But Wacha said after the game the goal was to win, and the Cards did just that, improving their lead over the Pirates to 2 games with 4 to go. Starting this afternoon, and a sweep of the Nationals would be nice as well. Wacha looking on, but Shelby Miller's no-hit bid ending quite early. 4th batter of the game, Bryce Harper out to left, Matt Holliday back in the lineup. He doesn't prefer defense, though. 1-0 Nationals, but Miller would settle. He did not allow a runner past scoring position, or into scoring position, after that inning. 3 strikeouts, 4 hits over 6 innings. Bottom of the 4th, here's Yachty. Up the middle, Holliday will score. Denard Span comes up throwing. Matt Adams will also score, and Molina safely back into first. He's very excited. 3-1 Cardinals. Bottom of the 6th, Matt Adams. You can't leave that up there. Jordan Zimmerman going to be stuck on 19 wins this year. 17th home run of the season for Adams. Cards win 4-1. 36 of their 94 W's are by rookie pitchers, and Shelby's got 15. So that's how the Redbirds did. How about the Bucks? At Wrigley, grounds crew sing and take me out to the ball game, so they got that going for them. Unfortunately, they're 28 games out of the race. There's only another month. Anthony Rizzo putting the Cubs up 1-0 in the first inning. Top of the 3rd, though, their starter Jake Arrieta struggling. He walks Justin Morneau with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Got a tie ball game, 1-1, but here in the 6th, Cardinals' new fan favorite, Darnell McDonald, belts a 3-run shot, his first as a Cub, and the Pirates lose 4-2, so the Cards will not be the visiting wild card team, at least. They can clinch the division outright on Friday. They're 3 games ahead of the Bucks with 3 games to go. Cincinnati will officially settle for one of the wild cards after a loss to the Mets today. All 3 teams at the top of the NL Central will play postseason baseball. And Ned Yost, he thinks that's pretty neat. He also liked the fact that GM Dayton Moore today says he wants to bring Yost back as manager next year. Royals visiting the Mariners. They need a win to stay alive. Cleveland winning again today. Irvin Santana, he'll be a free agent next year. Looking for win number 10 this season. 1-2-3, bottom of the 1st. And right now we are scoreless in Seattle. So the Royals doing their best to hang on. 4.5 games out of the wild card with 4 games to go. But Cleveland winning today. So if the Royals lose, they are done. Cardinals, as I said, can wrap up the division on Friday. And that would be good to stay out of that wild card game.
Still a great season for the Royals. Memorable in many regards.
Yeah, I mean, they had some really low points, but they brought it back here at the end of the season. I think that's what will keep their manager around. At
Sure,
least.
I think you're right, Nick. Thanks. Still to come here at 10 for 25 years, visitors have journeyed into the Bermuda Triangle at Branson's Whitewater, but no more. The reason the water park is tearing the ride down.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers. Color 10 News will continue in a moment.
The Bermuda Triangle no longer exists, at least the longtime ride at the Whitewater Park in Branson we're talking about here was taken down today to make way for a new attraction. A spokesperson is staying tight-lipped about what they're putting in as a new ride, but they're promising the $2 million project will not disappoint. The Bermuda Triangle has been at the Branson Water Park since 1988. Out with the old, in with the new.
It'll be exciting, yeah. See what they
It'll be fun to see what happens down there next summer. And the forecast has some surprises, too, for the weekend, huh?
It looks like a little wet weather for the weekend, and even a little bit of maybe one little final gasp of summer-like temperatures with highs in the 80s the next couple of days. Showers on Saturday, and then back to fall late in the weekend.
That's our time here at 10. Thanks, as always, for making Color 10 your choice for news, weather, and sports. From all of us, good night.